Now, good morning, good day, good night, and thank you guys for watching me fight. Now, we're talking about Sylas for today, right? It's Will Kill here. We're talking about Sylas, of course. Now, I'm here to answer one of your most asked questions. Which keystones do you guys want to be running as Sylas? Which keystones, what do you want to be running, and when do you want to be running these keystones? Now, as it stands, or as at the recording of this video, there are four keystones that you run, with three being the main keystones that you run on Sylas, right? Now, you have Conqueror, right? Conqueror. You have Electrocute, that's in the domination tree, and you have it's the first strike that is in the inspiration tree, right? But I've also added grass because this is my favorite keystone, and I'll explain why later. Now, we're not giving a comprehensive breakdown of each rune tree. Of course, we could spend all day doing that, but for now, we're just talking about the keystones, right? And I've found that there are two main variables that determine which keystone you run and when you run them, or well, to support why you'd be running these keystones. Now, these two variables are effective application and reliable application, right? And I'll explain what I mean by both of these. Now, effective application is whether or not you will be able to apply the passive effects of each keystone reliably, right? I mean, effectively. So what I mean is, with Conqueror, the longer you fight someone, the more damage you will do, and the more damage you do, you will heal for a percentage of that damage that you're dealing, right? So you're fighting somebody, you're fighting them, and finally you stack your Conqueror. I won't list how many attacks or how many spells it takes, because all of this is subject to change. Just know that the longer you're fighting somebody, the more damage you'll be doing, and you will be healing for a percentage of that damage, right? I won't say the percentage right now, even though it says it right here, but all of this is subject to change, especially with the coming of the new season, right? But this is how Conqueror works. The longer you fight someone, the more damage you'll be dealing over time, and the more healing you'll be receiving from Conqueror. That's when you want to be running Conqueror. So if you're fighting anybody in lane that you can afford to be brawling with for an extended period of time, that's when Conqueror is gonna trump every other rune in that lane, right? So yeah, that's pretty much when you want to be running Conqueror. Now, reliable application is how often you're going to be able to fight somebody or fight groups of people, because you have this rune for the entire game, you know what I mean? So you need to be able to apply the passive effect of the Conqueror reliably throughout the span of the game. Are you going to be able to reliably apply it, right? Is it one person that you're fighting? Is the person that you're likely going to be brawling top lane while you're playing mid? If you're going to be brawling multiple people, it's perfect, right? If you're fighting somebody in your lane that you will be able to burst regardless, probably not. You're much better off going another keystone. But for as long as you're going to be having extended brawls with any one person or any sets of people, Conqueror is perfect, and it's the best rune. And it's the most picked runes for that reason. It's the most picked rune, or most picked keystone, for that very reason, right? Now, for Electrocute, in the domination tree, when you're going for short trades, because as it says, the keystone says, hitting an enemy champion or hitting a champion with 3 separate attacks or abilities within 3 seconds deals bonus adaptive damage, right? You have a 3-second window in which you need to apply this damage in order to get the bonus adaptive damage, right? In order to use your spell, you have a 3-second window, in which you have to be hitting them in order to get Electrocute proc. Now, this is, well, when you're going mid lane, this is what I would recommend if you're going against squishy mages and people that you really don't want to be fighting for extended periods of time. There are some people in the game with ramp up damage, that's what I call it. Some people like, for instance, Mordekaiser, if I'm fighting him in the top lane, or Darius, right? I'm going to reference a lot of top laners because I primarily play Sylas in the top lane. There's some people that you don't want to be. Conqueror is just a no-go into these people, right? Electrocute would be perfect if you're just looking to get short trades in and then just get away, right? And for those who don't already know, at level 1 you can level your E into certain matchups, and your E is enough to give you the Electrocute proc within the 3 seconds. You can hit your E2 on any one target, and then the two empowered auto attacks is enough to give you the Electrocute proc, right? This is one of my favorite things to do when I'm fighting people who won't punish me for going in or using my E first or leveling my E first. So yeah, that's when you want to be using Electrocute because of the effective application. If you can effectively use this throughout the span of the game, or you can effectively use this, apply the passive in your lane, that's when you're using this. And if you can reliably apply it throughout the span of the game, or reliably apply it in your lane, that's when you want to be running Electrocute, right? And there's definitely some exceptions. There are people like Teemo. If I'm fighting a Teemo, I don't want to be running Electrocute into a Teemo, because Teemo will apply a blind, and then my empowered auto attacks won't allow me to get the Electrocute proc reliably, right? I'll get it sometimes when his blind is down, but reliable application is one of the key components or major variables that determine whether or not you run the rules that you run. If you're looking to burst or go for short trades, perfect. You run this, right? Right. That brings me to first strike rune under the inspiration tree. Now, remember, this is one of the most situational ones of the lot. Well, this is probably the most situational rune of the lot, right? Because of how volatile the application of it is, effective application and reliable application, right? Now, first strike works very much or very close to the way that Electrocute works, in that you have a 3-second window in which you're supposed to apply your damage so that you can get the bonus gold and the bonus damage from the room, right? Now, as the name suggests, you need to be striking first, right? That's what the effective application is. Are you going to be effectively and reliably striking your opponent first before they can afford to hit you and put your rune on cooldown? Because as it says here, there's a 25-second cooldown. That's like forever in laning phase, man. If they're gonna auto attack you, if you're fighting a ranged mid laner and they're gonna auto attack you once and then put this on a 25-second cooldown, and then in another 25 seconds, because they know these things, they know when it's coming up, and it's also represented by a ball, like either around you or beside you. I can't remember right now, but they know, they can see when your first strike is active, so they can just easily throw a skill at you, or they can easily auto attack you once and the freaking rune goes on cooldown. You don't want that. So that is why I say that the effective and reliable application of this, it's very sketchy, right? So you predominantly want to be running this into melee matchups. This is when you're more often than not gonna get a chance to apply your first strike, when you're gonna be able to opt into striking your opponent first, versus a Yasuo or a Yone or an Akali or a Kiana. You want to be running this into melee matchups, and you want to be initiating. Don't pick this rune if you're not the type to initiate the fights, right? You won't be getting the bonus damage and you won't be getting the bonus gold. You're better off, in that case, you're better off running a fleet footwork in if you're trying to play it all passive. You're better off running a fleet footwork in the precision tree. But that's pretty much it. That's how you want to be using first strike. If you can reliably and effectively strike them first, right? And also you want to be thinking about other people in the game too. If you're playing against a Teemo, I keep referencing Teemo because he's just a pop champion, but if you're playing against a Teemo and you're gonna be walking through the jungle, you walk through a shroom, your first strike is now on cooldown. Any enemy ability that hits you, any enemy attack that strikes you, puts it on cooldown, right? So you just wanna bear that in mind when you're using this Keystone. I like it a lot. I like it for top lane, especially because there are a lot of melee champions there. I get to engage without them engaging on me first. You get to Q start and you just hit them with your Q, and just like that, 7 gold or 12 gold, 25 gold, right? So you want to pick this rune whenever you're going for the same sort of burst trades or short trades, and then when you're short trades and then exiting the fight, that's when you want to be using this rune, right? And now for the 4th rune, and this is my favorite rune tree because I play Sylas in the top lane primarily, and this rune tree is just perfect because it gives every single thing in the tree, just gives you either sustain or it gives you more durability, right? It makes you more resilient. And the Grasp of the Undying is my favorite rune because I like runes that do more than just give me damage. I like runes that give me a stacking passive or has a stacking passive on it. This Keystone is perfect. especially into melee matchups. Because while they're just trading, I'm stacking more well, permanent HP, or it's permanently increasing your HP throughout the span of the game, and it's giving you extra damage and it's giving you healing. So it's a lot of sustain while you're in the top lane. You know what I mean? So that's why I like to run the Grasp of the Undying, and also I build my Sylas mostly very tanky. I build him with Sunfire Cape Aegis and a lot of HP, Timber Winter and things like that. That's how I build my Sylas in the top lane, because I do believe that top lanes have a role to fulfill, and they need to be engaged, or they need to be able to apply CC reliably, or they need to be able to, you know, tank, or you know, to soak up some form of damage, right? They need to be bullet sponges of sorts. So that's why and that's how I've been building Sylas. I don't play him like a traditional Sylas player, or I don't build him like that either. And so yeah, that's my reasoning for going the runes that I go. Also, if you found this video to be helpful in the least, please give the video a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if there's anything that you learned that you didn't already know. If there's anything that you know that you haven't learned, or anything that you know that I haven't expressed or shared with anyone, please be sure to utilize the comment section. All right, I don't know, I have all the information. I'm just sharing what I do know to be true, and the things that do work for me, and based on my own understanding experiences, right? So please utilize the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Okay, peace.
Our chains are only as strong as we think they are.